Tonight, joined by the Superjesus. Lots of changes, lots of new things to be excited about. Sarah, Ruddy, thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
G'day, Andrew.
Hey, mate. How are you?
Living the dream. Alrighty, so everyone's seen the new announcement. 2 new members, a little bit of change in the Superjesus. Change is always good. So How did this all come about? Give us the quick Reader's Digest on it.
Do you want me to start, Ruddy, or do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you go for it.
Okay. Well, we have been meandering for many, many years. When we were back in the 90s, we were like really passionate about the band, and we worked our arse off. Our whole life was the band. And then, over the years, we started doing other projects as well, and our focus shifted a little bit. And then we got to a point recently, sort of like after COVID, and we were like, what are we doing? What do we want from this band? There's a lot of goodwill still out there for this band, and I feel like we're not doing the punters justice or us justice if we don't take it more seriously and pull our fingers out and like, let's do this properly. And if we're going to do it properly, we need to make some changes. We need to make a full-length record. Let's not be swayed by what's going on with Spotify, where everyone's saying let's just put out there single by single. Let's make a mark. Let's just throw everything at this and just find that passion and that drive and that perfect chemistry that we had when we first started. We want to get that again, and we've managed to get that and even better.
For you, Ruddy? What about for you?
Yeah, well, it was something I'd always sort of been nudging McLeod in the ribs about, sort of saying that I think the band to not record was something that was never going to be on the agenda. So I always said that I think an album, I really do. I really think an album is still left in the band, and if not more. So you didn't ask, but but it gave us a bit of time to sort of refocus on where we were going and a bit of vision, and that's kind of where we're at today.
Yeah. But we thought if we're going to do it, we've got to do it properly, and we've got to be armed with the band being the best it can possibly be. We've got to make sure that the people around us are all with an equal vision, and we've got to make sure that all our ducks are perfectly in a row, and then we'll do it. So that's what we've been doing. We've got a new manager. We've changed a lot of things.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
do you think that it was important? So you just come off pretty much one of the biggest shows you've done recently in opening for Kiss in Adelaide. I saw you all that night, and there seemed to be a bit more of a pep in your step, Sarah, I've got to say, that night.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you? God, we're opening for Kiss. We're playing in a stadium.
Yeah.
Like, we even played at a room like that since we played with Bush in '98. And we played like a lot of festivals, and we've played to that many people outdoors.
Yeah.
But to be indoors felt really stadium-y, and I was like, up the back, and I'd call the lighting guy, and I'd go, everyone scream up the back, and the lighting guy would put the lights on the people up the back, and I'd go, over here. The lighting guy would put the lights on the people. I was like, God, this is incredible. Look at this. And everyone was like, hey. We were standing on stage going, I can't believe that we're here. Especially Ruddy, because he loves Kiss.
Yeah. It's definitely hard not to be caught up with a huge machine like Kiss, and a following that they have. It's such a worldwide sort of thing. So it was massive.
Did that set a bit more hunger for you guys though, like coming off such a big show where you really decided to really kick it up a notch from there?
I don't think it was the Kiss show that led us here. We were already thinking this. We had our plans. We were just working out how to go about it, how to get the timing right. But it was fun being in that position for a minute. But it was inspiring. But we were already inspired.
Okay, now introduce us to the 2 new guys in the band.
Okay, you go, Ruddy.
We came across a guy called Murray Sheridan, who's on drums, and he's fantastic. He's the chemistry feels great already. And Cam Blokland, who's a local Adelaide guy. So it's good to have somebody, with a foot in my state. So that's a bonus. And yeah, both the guys they're fitting incredibly well. In fact, we've taken them into the studio. Like, talk about right, package them up, get them ready, off we go, and now we're in the studio. You know, so but the thing is, McLeod and myself were willing to wait. If it took a year, we were willing to do it. You know, you just got to get it right. You got to get things right, and that's what we felt we've done. You know, we've taken our time to get it right. So, you know, in Cam and Murray, and they're really good. They're really great people, and the chemistry feels organic and it's focused. It feels awesome.
And everything's happening really fast too. You know, like when you're in the right direction, you know, when you're going in the right direction, things happen quickly. Things fall into place. There's been a lot of serendipitous things going on. We've gone, wow, okay, well, that's lucky. That's great. And so we've managed to work quite quickly.
Okay. When did you start sort of putting the songs together that's going to be on the new album? How long has that writing process been for the both of you?
You go, Roddy?
Well, I guess going back again we came back from Brazil in 2019, and it was there that I started hitting people up to get me recording gear all around the country, yourself included. Yep. And that's when I started to write some songs. I thought, you know, while we're sort of sitting around, I'll just keep writing and and learning. You know, it's been a huge sort of graph learning curve to sort of get it all together. So yeah, probably the last couple of years I've had ideas, and I've still got a bucket load sitting there. It's just you know, things were different, you know, for McLeod and myself. You know, McLeod was doing her thing, I was doing sort of my thing, and then we played each other a couple of demos. I was like, wow, you know, this is good. Let's tap into it. And as soon as we did, and that was interesting because as soon as we did, we felt it straight away. So you know, you get that feeling like it's back, sort of thing. So yeah, last couple of years I've been doing the demos, year and a half. Yeah,
and Ruddy has been working really hard because he's put his studio together and he's learnt the software, like the same, like Logic Pro X, what I use. And Ruddy was like, what do you use? I'll use the same software and then it'll be easier for us to exchange files. And he bought the software, and like within a year, he's sending me back like demos, like banging demos. And I'm like, my God, I've been working on this program for years. I can't make it sound like that. Like I'm really proud of how you've pulled that together.
Yeah,
it makes it inspiring for me to go and write vocals on it. Yeah,
it's really good, really good. It's been a huge process, but you know, I spoke to somebody in the studio and I asked those guys, you know, to come and give me a hand. He said, you know what, I'm going to actually do the best thing I can do for you and not give you a hand. You buy them, you learn them, and so that's what I did. A lot of YouTube and stuff like that, because one thing is to be inspired to write music, I guess, and then the next thing is to put it down into a demo form. And if you have to sit and read manuals, it sort of takes away, doesn't it?
It does.
From any creativity. So anyway, yeah, that's right.
Totally,
so
yeah.
It was good.
So how many songs have you got down so far for the new album?
7.
7? And what's the aim for the album? How many?
Well, we haven't really discussed it, but I reckon 10 bangers. Like, you know, 10, I don't like albums that go on too long. I reckon 10, just 10 really good songs, all killer, no filler.
Okay.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm with you 100%.
Good.
Good. Now you know. Now, what's the time frame going to be?
Right. What's the what? Sorry.
What's the time frame going to be? Besides when it's done, have you got sort of a game plan to get the album out?
Well, they're sort of talking about putting a single out, tour, another single, another tour. So I think the full album will be out like late next year-ish.
Okay.
We don't have a date yet, though.
Do you think it's better to not have a date when you're in the middle of doing an album so you've got less pressure?
It depends how you work. I love pressure, personally. I love it. I love it. Like, give me a deadline. Fuck yeah. If I'm just sitting here meandering, like, you know, I much prefer to have someone cracking a whip over me, definitely. But, you know, everyone's different.
Yeah, I'm definitely different. I don't like pressure at all. But, you know, I'm learning to deal with it.
All right.
Sorry.
So you've both been doing outside projects. So you went and did Jane Eyre again, another run of that. And you've always had your little side bands that you've done, Ruddy. How does it feel to do all these outside projects and actually feel like for want of a better word, all of your attention is back on the Superjesus?
Oh, but I'm stoked. I feel like I went through a period where I sort of didn't really like rock and roll for a while. I was like, no, it's all about the piano now, and we're just like working on ballads and stuff. But then just like now, since we've decided that we're actually going to do this properly and make this our main focus, I have a whole new, really excitable passion for rock and roll again, like heaps. It's like it's just come at me like a hurricane out of nowhere, just smashed me over the head. I'm like, yeah, I'm even listening to rock and roll music at home, which I would never do.
You reckon we can get a listen to Kiss, Ruddy?
I don't know about
that. I don't hate Kiss.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
What about
it has been great actually to have McLeod sort of refocus, is for want of a better word, because it's not a sentence to be in the band. Everyone does their own thing, as you sort of mentioned. But what's incredible is the amount of focus that we have and the power when we do focus 100%. It's great. It's really, really good. Yeah. And you go, yes, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's always been there.
Yeah, it's always been there, but it's a waste that we haven't like actually taken this gift that we have. Our musical connection is like, we're so lucky to have that. And we have a fan base still, like, somehow, to not take that seriously and put the effort in, I think is criminal. So we were like, we have to do it. We should have done it ages ago, but we're doing it now. Better late than never.
Yeah, exactly.
And 20 years is a nice round number.
True. But it's funny that, the amount of shows I've been to and hung out with you guys, seeing you two on Zoom right now is probably the most connected I've seen you out of every show I've been to. So I can tell that there's this new connection again for you two, which is really great.
Yeah. Yeah, because Ruddy and I have taken a lot of risks together. And so we've held each other's hand through this, because there's been a lot of scary moments and we've really had to put our balls on the line. And we, sometimes we get insecure about it, and we call each other and we're like, no, it's good what we're doing. Like, we've got to keep your eye on the prize. This is our focus. This is what we're trying to do. We can't be swayed by, any sort of negativity. We kind of hold each other through, the ups and the downs, and we always have, but of late it's been a lot more powerful. And we're also both really excited, aren't we? So
yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah. And you touched on it. Whenever a band makes a change, whenever anyone makes a change in life, there's going to be this little pocket off to the side. People like to call them trolls. I like to just call them people with nothing better to do, that are always going to find the bad in everything. So I don't want you guys to dwell on it, but what do you guys think about how you're going to change the perception of these trolls moving forward?
Well, we'll let the music do the talking. There is those people around, and that's everyone's to themselves. That's cool. We're not focused on that. We're not worried about it. We're doing our thing. Yep. And if you want to be along for this ride, seriously, if you want to be along with us, it'll be great. We'd love to have you along and be in support and everything else. And if you want to see the better, I just challenge you to come out to a show. That's all. Just come out to a show and check it out.
Yeah. If you've been following our journey and you care about our band, when you come and see what we're doing and listen to what we've done, that will all fall by the wayside pretty quick.
Cool. So you've posted a very small snippet online of some of the stuff you've been working on while you're in the studio. And of course, you're listening through a phone, you're listening through a computer.
For sure.
So I'm only going to throw one word out there. It sounds like organic Superjesus to me. Is that how these songs feel to you? They feel very organic?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
recording process was very organic. Like, we all sat in a circle together, we'd break a song apart and put it back together, and everyone's ideas were heard. Everyone was really creative. The communication was amazing, and it was quick. And we were just looking around going, look at us go. Like, we hardly even know each other. Look at us. We're like just doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally right. It was so respectful. And also to be able to, as McLeod said, to sit there and talk about, your roadmap, if for want of a better word, of the song, and we just sat there and talked about it. So we're going to this verse. Everyone had an input. Everyone had to talk about it. It was really good, and so organic. Yeah, you got it, and that's where our DNA is in our organic, sound. So we touch back on it, and it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, and like the like to have that kind of chemistry, it's kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. Like, some bands never get it. Some bands only have it once. Like, we had it once back in the 90s. We had it. When you've had it, you know that you've had it, and you know the feeling. And then when you lose it, you just search for it for forever. And we've found it again now. Like, and I just feel like we're so lucky. Like, to have that once is lucky. But now we've been able to have it twice in our career. That's, like, we should buy a lottery ticket.
Cool. Well, everyone should buy a lottery ticket when they feel that way. I reckon you just never know what happens tomorrow. So
exactly.
For sure.
And you're going to be hitting the road January, February, and a bit of March with Dallas Crane. How many
killer band as well?
Yeah, great band. How many new songs do you think? Do you think you'll just be playing the single?
What do you reckon, Ruddy? Do you reckon 3, or is that too many?
I reckon 2 to 3. Yeah.
I just want to play all of them. I just want to play all the new songs, but I know we're not allowed to.
I definitely have to put the reins on McLeod there. But I get
very excited.
It is incredibly exciting. But I'd say 2 or 3 songs,
Yep. Just put the taste test out for the fans, you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think at this point it's important to give people something other than just your same old songs. Even though we enjoy playing them so much, but something new as well, something to a taste test, if you will, of what's to come. Yeah.
Well, when it happens, I've got to put a request out, not just as a mate, but as a fan. Actually, do a proper live recording. Like, I know you did the Jet Age stuff, but do a live album with this band. Record a show.
We should do a live album.
Like a retrospective live album.
Cool.
Yeah, on vinyl.
On vinyl, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we've done one before. May as well do another one.
Yeah.
Like we've managed to on records that we've had in the past, we've never managed to capture the live energy that we get at the gig. We've never actually managed to put it onto the tape. But with this record, we've managed to get it sounding like as energetic and as exciting as it is in a gig. And that's a tricky thing to be able to capture. And I'm so glad that we finally have, because, there's one thing, you listen to the record and then you go to the gig, it's a whole different kettle of fish. But now the record sounds like you're at the gig, just without crowds.
Well, that's good, because I've always taken you guys as a band that has this less is more approach. Like, you don't need the fancy bells and whistles. You get up there and you just slam it out. So is that sort of what this record's going to be about? No orchestration, no choirs in the background kind of vibe, just 4 people playing their shit?
I think we're sort of open to a bit of everything, I think if we didn't sort of have a bit of a change after however long we've been going for, 20 years or whatever it is, it would be the same old song and dance. So we're open to a little bit more experimentation, but certainly, within the vein of the band, it sounds like us, and it's always.
And having said that, there was a lot of parts in our demos where we had some like sort of keyboardy bits, and then when we got to the studio, we're like, actually, you know what? We don't want keyboards. Forget keyboards. We'll play all those lines with the guitars. Right. So it's just 2 guitars, drums, and bass.
Perfect. Now, what is your roadmap for 2023, 2024? Is it going to be just single show, and then like a bigger tour, maybe a support? Is that what you're looking for? Like a big tour support?
No, it's pretty much single tour, album tour, festivals. That's the rough outline.
Great. And what about breaking away? You're going to be doing any more theatre, Sarah? Any more solo stuff, Ruddy, or cover stuff?
Ruddy won't do any cover stuff. You kidding me? He hates that shit.
Yeah. No, I'll just be doing the band.
Yep.
Just I think we'll have our basket pretty full for next year and going into 2024, as McLeod said. So yeah, that's all we'll focus on. And in downtime, it'll just be writing songs and sort of expanding on what we've got.
And what about for you,
because
Sarah?
now that we know that we've got our nucleus, we've got our machine happening. Now that we can after this we can just keep going. We've got it. We'll just keep making music now. We'll just keep pumping out records. We're not getting any younger. We may as well go for it now.
I would love to hear you guys, get this out next year and another one the year after. Like,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Well, we've got 20 years to make up for, Andrew.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, good.
I promise
we'll
I won't shoot all the shows.
Okay, no, we'll shoot the shows. Just don't kill them.
Don't kill them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to let everyone know moving forward? Superjesus 2023, even though it's 2022 still, we're going to call it 2023 because that's when you're going to get out and do your first live shows. If you had to just give us a sentence each on what's coming our way, what would it be?
Do you want me to start?
Go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our new thing is joy and energy, right? We're bringing the energy in spades, the fun and the joy. And we're here for one reason, and that is to make people have a good time. We're not here to show you all the things that we've done and how we've rehearsed and how talented we are. Like, it's not about that. They're the tools that we use to help you have a good time. But our whole thing is about, we curate the show to make people get involved, to make people have a good time. So when they bother coming out and getting a babysitter and driving or whatever they have to do to get to the show, which is always an event in itself, they're going to bother doing that for us. And we've got to make sure that they go home with smiles on their faces that they can't peel off. I want to see everyone in the crowd smiling at us all the time. That's what I'm all about.
Ready?
In sessions. I'd say you're gonna. Everyone's frozen at the minute. You're gonna see the excitement of the band. You're gonna see, and I know it'll transfer to the audience. You're gonna hear some fantastic rock and roll. What can I say? It's what we've done for a long time, and we're going to keep doing it. So yeah, that's what we intend to bring. And everyone who knows the band, is familiar with the band, or if you're not familiar with the band, come and check it out. You won't go away disappointed, I'm sure.
Well, that
he's right about the excitement.
Exactly. I look forward to seeing some weird bass drum jumping and hopefully not spraining of ankles from you, McLeod.
I won't hurt myself. I have sensible shoes. I'm a woman with sensible shoes.
But anyway, the Superjesus new album coming soon. Everyone love it. Everyone get on board. Out on tour with Dallas Crane soon. McLeod, Ruddy, love you. See you next time.
It is, Andrew.
Thanks for having us,
mate. Thanks, pal. Thanks, Andrew.
Bye.
Appreciate it.